Hello and welcome to Outsider Sports. I am your host, Gabriel Fox. In a league once ruled by dynasties and big threes, we're now seeing finals teams built like blue-collar startups. Smart, deep, and balanced. Is this the future of basketball or just a temporary reset? To help us find the answer, we brought in Keenan Warner, sports writer at the College Sports Network and creator and co-host of the Warner Brothers podcast. And last but definitely not least, a Full Sail alumni from the Dan Patrick School. Keenan, thank you so much, my friend, for coming through for me. How you
Absolutely,
doing?
I appreciate you having me. This is great. I love doing this stuff. So thank you.
So, I guess the first question is, what lessons can the rest of the league learn from the way that Indiana and OKC built their teams?
Those two teams built their teams organically. Obviously, every team you have to have a trade or two. And yes, Sabonis was traded in the Tyrese Halliburton trade, and then obviously SGA was traded in a Paul George trade, but a lot of it was organic building for the draft and those kind of profiles coming up, getting the archetypes that you need, connective pieces along with big time players. So you're going to see moving forward, I believe, a lot of teams who understand, okay, there's value in the draft, there's value in developing instead of trying to go for these big threes. And that's really what the first and second aprons really did, to try to cut that out, to really get these teams to build organically. So you get teams like Indiana, Oklahoma City, or maybe a team like the Spurs coming up here in the future because they have so many picks and such youthful talent going up there. So you're going to see a lot more of that.
So what teams do you think are best set up to replicate that blueprint, that building from within?
Of course, OKC is still in that position. They drafted multiple times yesterday in the first round of the draft. Indiana, they traded back to get into the second round today. But then you've also got the Spurs, as I just had barely mentioned. You get Dylan Harper at 2. You got Carter Bryant at 14. They've got multiple picks here going forward, plus already having Victor Wembanyama and Stephon Castle, back-to-back Rookie of the Years. You've got Houston. Houston traded for a lot of picks. I understand they traded the 10th pick to get Kevin Durant, but they still they drafted Sengun. They had Tari Eason. You have Amen Thompson. They still have picks going forward. So those are two teams that I think are in prime position.
Yeah, and speaking of Houston, and more specifically Kevin Durant, what did that trade tell you about how the league is valuing stars over fit and flexibility?
The Kevin Durant trade showcased to you that you have to have an infrastructure of players and an infrastructure of a team that is already in a position like the Rockets were, a second seed last year, where they weren't really too high in the payroll, but they're able to trade away pieces and absorb Kevin Durant. You can't just go and get 3 high-level players because that's going to be 90% of your salary. As you saw with Boston this year, they traded Kristaps Porzingis, they traded away Drew Holiday, they got Anthony Simons back, Gorgie Jang, and then a pick. And you're like, wait, that doesn't seem like the right amount of returns for those level of players.
No.
But they had to, because they would have been paying over $200 million in luxury tax, because if you're a repeat offender of the second apron and all of that stuff, it gets a lot kind of crazy within the letter of the law when it comes to these new contractual NBA rules. So
that's definitely one of the ways. How much do you think that new CBA and the luxury tax is impacting the way teams are starting to build this year?
It's definitely affecting this year. You can't just go out there and throw money at players like you used to be able to a little bit ago. You saw a lot of different scenarios where you were kind of stacking high-level talent, and you had the ability to, because if your owner was willing to pay the luxury tax fee, then you're okay. And then now it's to a point where there's so much fees and so much tax, and you get so cap-strapped and so strapped with roster movement, you can't do it. So it just affects it in just such a way where teams are really not able to go ahead and do what they wish they could have done before, which is going to lead to more OKCs versus Indiana, because it's the teams that really can build from within. Smaller market teams might be able to get that chance, and you're not going to really get repeat champions. We haven't gotten a repeat champion since the Warriors in 17-18. It's crazy.
It's the Silver
really
effect. It's the Adam Silver effect.
Absolutely the Silver effect, 100%.
So what kind of team do you think is going to be dominating in the next 5 years?
OKC is set up to really kind of dominate for a minute of time. They really are. And then it's going to be the teams that have superstars who are younger. So the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to be in an okay position. Okay, we've got Anthony Edwards, and now we can build pieces around it. Or Nikola Jokic and build pieces around it. Victor Wembanyama, build pieces around it. So those teams that have those solidified superstars are always going to be the ones that are going to be ahead of the game. But you have to also have a little bit of draft capital and not hamstring yourself for long periods of time. And the teams that I name with Anthony Edwards, Nikola Jokic, Victor Wembanyama, those guys are there. And then, of course, if we have to see how good Cooper Flagg's going to be, the Dallas Mavericks look like it could be the same thing.
This is the Outsider Sports Show, and we are here with Keenan Warner, sports writer of the College Sports Network and creator and co-host of the Warner Brothers podcast. We're talking the future of basketball. Keenan, I'm going to switch gears slightly. Mm-hmm. You predicted that the WNBA Finals might outrate the NBA Finals.
I did.
What would make you think that shift is real?
The Caitlin Clark effect. So, I mean, we know that she is one of the biggest stars, not even just like basketball stars, but one of honestly the biggest stars in the world. Obviously, she's not Taylor Swift level, but you see her in the press box with Taylor Swift in the AFC Championship game in Kansas City. NBA-wise, you've got LeBron, you've got Steph, and that might be the list. And that might be the list for who's more like namesake, bigger than Caitlin Clark. Like, is she as big as Kyrie Irving? Probably yes. Is she as big as Kevin Durant? Yes. Like, her name resonates. And when you get Caitlin Clark in these big games, I think the Indiana Fever are going to make it to the WNBA Finals this year, the way they've constructed their roster and built around her. I think that they're going to be there. If she is there, they're going to do numbers. So you have Oklahoma City, Indiana. Those ratings are going to naturally go down because you don't have the Steph, LeBron. But then you get the Caitlin Clark, and then maybe you get Asia Wilson coming out with a new shoe. That's great. You get Sabrina Ionescu, who's already one of the biggest names, Brianna Stewart on the New York Liberty. I think that the pairing of those two could really cause for a huge spike in the WNBA Finals comparatively to last year that already got very good views. I think that they have a chance. If Caitlin's there, they have a chance.
I sat and thought about it. I did a little bit of research trying to come up with a way to go, dude, you're crazy. There's no way the WNBA is ever going to overtake the NBA. Most of these stadiums, every single one of the games that the WNBA has played since Caitlin Clark came into the league, some of them are up 319% attendance. Indiana, over the span of her rookie year, their attendance went up 319%. And that's one of like stadiums. 6 teams that reported people are going to bigger arenas to host, if Caitlin's coming, we got to get that money. So I kind of deep down think you are right, and I think that will happen.
She has to get to the finals. If she's not there, this won't happen, and I know that, but like my prediction hinders on the fact that Caitlin will get to the WNBA Finals this year. And we saw they play in the same building. We saw what that Indiana crowd sounded like in games 3, 4, and 6 in the NBA Finals. Imagine with Caitlin there, my goodness, that crowd's going to be going insane. I'm telling you, that crowd's going to be insane.
What can the NBA learn from what the WNBA is experiencing right now?
WNBA, there's this one thing that the WNBA has is a reset timeout. One thing that really bogs down a lot of the viewing process and viewership is the fact that, okay, the last 50 seconds of a game can take 15 minutes. And you're like, okay, so it's a possession, timeout, oh, who is this out on? Review, 5 minutes. And you can, it just really, the anticipation goes up, and then it's and just continuous. So the WNBA does this thing called a reset timeout, where you get to move the ball from the out of bounds to the half court, and they move the ball from out of bounds to the half court, and you get to sub in players, but you don't get to huddle. So it quickly, obviously a lot of teams wanted to call that timeout so they can get it to half court so they can actually inbound and make a play. But that takes 5 minutes to do because they'll huddle for the timeout. It's just a reset timeout. So it takes 13 seconds for them to just walk the ball there, sub in whoever they need to, and go. That's something that I think that they should incorporate because that just quickens up the game. And then also it just comes down to, I think replays need to go a little bit quicker. And I actually think of the WNBA replays do end up going a little bit quicker. So those are two things that happen in the WNBA game that don't happen in the NBA game.
We're heading up against the break. Keenan, thank you so much for coming. Our guest right now is Keenan Warner of the Warner Brothers podcast. Where can people look you up? On the socials? Find your podcast?
Warner Brothers Podcast, Brothers spelled Brothas, but that is going to be on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all Warner Brothers Podcast, search it there. And then going to the College Sports Network or the Pro Football Sports Network, I am on there both for writing. So you just search my name, Keenan Warner, you'll find different NBA college basketball WNBA articles from there. But yes, I appreciate you very much so. Thank you. I had a lot of fun doing this.
Yes, sir. And we'll have to do it again sometime soon. I'm going to put those links in the show notes as well. Thanks for stopping by. And ladies and gentlemen, on or off the court, decisions matter. So make good choices. And we will see you next time on the Outsider Sports.